Hi, this is George with George's Geek Hub, and today we're going to talk about the case for retrofitting older computers with Linux and SSDs. For many reasons, most of us have older computers laying around. Perhaps they're our previous daily drivers, bargains we found online, or maybe they're the best computer we can afford right now. It's also possible that the company or organization you work for has an aging fleet of computers and lacks the budget to replace them all at once. Regardless of the reason we have them, they're probably running a lot slower than we'd like. So why don't we do something about it, and why should we even care? With the end of official Windows 10 support by Microsoft right around the corner, now might not be a bad time to start considering alternatives if we can't replace the computer in time. At the time of recording, Microsoft has announced that Windows 10 will continue to receive updates and support until October 14th, 2025. This means that after that date, your Windows 10 computer will no longer get any updates, including security updates. It will become a target for attackers as it will be a permanently vulnerable system. Think of the reasons you shouldn't be running Windows 7 in 2022, and that will be the case for Windows 10 after October 2025. But you can update to Windows 11, right? If your computer meets the minimum system requirements for Windows 11, you most certainly can. Perhaps the computer you're on already has Windows 11, in which case this video probably doesn't apply to you. However, many computers that people have even now are not officially supported by Windows 11. The installer will flat out refuse to install the OS and tell you that the computer is not supported, even if you use the computer to play the latest games. You see, Microsoft has added additional requirements for security, in this case for the TPM 2.0 chip to be present. This means that unless your computer has an 8th gen Intel CPU or newer, it will not be supported by Windows 11. You can technically modify the installer to force it to install on computers as old as Core 2 Duo, but that's not ideal as Microsoft won't help you or the manufacturer fix anything if something doesn't run as smoothly as you'd like. It's also worth mentioning that many people, including myself, feels this additional requirement is artificial. What's a geek to do? You may have heard of Linux, the free open source operating system that's used all over the world for hosting websites, games, databases, as well as on desktops. You may have even tried a few distributions already. Linux, unlike Windows, is not made by one single organization or company, and has many different flavors called distributions, or distros for short. Examples of distros include Red Hat, Debian, Ubuntu, and there are many, many more. The one we're going to talk about today is called Zorin OS. You can download Zorin OS for free at ZorinOS.com, or you can purchase their Pro version for $40. That includes some Creative Suite software billed as professionally used. I don't actually have a list of what they include in the Pro version, and they do seem to keep that list private, but that's alright. Part of the reason is that the list is so extensive is that it would be hard to follow it or even list them, but also because they're installed in packs based on function, so you'd have graphic software, video editing, and audio as categories. That said, every one of these pieces of software are available for free, and you don't need to pay for a Pro license to use anything. It's just a matter of having it prepackaged for you, or you going out and picking which ones you want installed manually. In fact, the Pro license is a way to support the developers, and with it they give you extra visual styles and make installing software much easier. At the time I recorded this, I have not tried the Pro version yet, and all of my experiences with Zorin OS have been with the free Community Edition. When I've tried Pro out, I'll be back to talk about how it went. But today I'm not giving a tour of Zorin OS, but I'm just using it as an example of a Linux distro that checks all the boxes with what you can expect from one. For a desktop, which is what most of you'll use it for, out of the box you get an Office suite called LibreOffice, a web browser, Firefox, an email client, Evolution, which can connect to Exchange servers, and lots of other free software for common tasks like video and audio playback. So there are two main reasons I recommend Zorin OS specifically. The first is the fact that they have a regular version and a Lite version. From my own testing, ZorinOS Lite is the best choice on PCs with no more than 2 cores. ZorinOS Standard should work fine on most computers built in the last 7 years or newer. The other reason I recommend Zorin OS is ease of use. Some of you may have tried Linux before or know someone who has, and one of the first painful lessons is how different the interface looks. Zorin OS is conveniently designed so it mimics very closely popular design styles from operating systems such as Windows 10, Windows 11, and Mac OS. The Pro version includes additional styles that are way closer in appearance to the originals, however, the free options are still easy to understand and navigate. Aside from software, retrofitting older machines still requires some hardware upgrades to bring an older machine to current standards. For example, a minimum of 8 gigabytes of RAM is recommended for most use cases in 2022, except for audio, video, photo editing, and gaming, which require a minimum of 16 gigs, along with other specialized hardware such as a dedicated GPU or sound card. You'll also want to upgrade an old PC away from hard drives, which I like to call spinny drives, and replace them with SSDs, or solid-state drives. While SSDs come in various new form factors such as NVMe, older machines equipped with SATA ports can be retrofitted with 2.5-inch SATA SSDs. These are the size used in laptops. However, they can be mounted in desktops via the use of adapter mounts or by using creativity. Taping it to the side of your case, Velcro, you name it, it's been done and it works well. Most people are served well with 256 gig SSDs. However, if you are in the process of upgrading and ordering parts, make sure to check the space you're actually using before you go and buy anything. The difference in performance between spinny drives and SSDs is insane. You'll feel like your computer is brand new again, and it won't feel like the same computer. You'll find that boot times have shrunk from several minutes to under a minute, depending on how your system is configured and whether you've done a fresh install of Windows or Linux, or you've cloned the old drive to the SSD. I'll have some links below for some silicon power SSDs that I've used reliably to upgrade my computers, as well as my client systems. I want to point out that while you can get 128 gig SSDs very cheaply, there's a good chance that is not going to be large enough for you. That concludes today's message. If you need any consulting, you can email George at peakanpcsolutions.com. If you're looking to connect with me about ideas for content, you'd like to request a particular video for me to do, you can call or text +1 309-431-1965, or you can fill out the contact form on georgesgeekhub.com when the site goes live. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.